Alice Tepper Marlin has designed and built several innovative models for corporate social responsibility, beginning with a peace portfolio for investors in the 1960s.
I thought if questions like this became the kinds of things that analysts were asking companies about, there would be tremendous leverage. It would really change decisions in corporate boardrooms.
Shortly after, she founded the Council on Economic Priorities, which conducted groundbreaking research that helped launch the socially responsible investment movement. In the 80s and 90s, she created the best-selling book, Shopping for a Better World, and other powerful tools that enabled consumers to reward good corporate citizenship.
It was our first sense of having started a model which social entrepreneurs all around the world wanted to copy. And one of the major shifts was to start thinking of ourselves not in a U.S. but in a global context.
More recently, she has created SA 8000, a universal standard to help companies ensure good workplace conditions for their own employees and those of their suppliers. Tepper Marlin describes how she's built strategic partnerships to transform corporate practices worldwide.
I was approached by an investment firm in Boston, went to work for them as a financial analyst, and while I was there, the head of the firm was approached by a religious institution outside Boston to see if they could manage their portfolio without investing in any companies involved in the military-industrial complex or in the war in Vietnam. And I developed a peace portfolio. We ran a very small ad just once in the New York Times Week of Review, and the response was way beyond anybody's expectations. We got 700 letters in from all over. There were individuals, but there were also big institutions. We got letters from the Ford Foundation, from Yale University, from the Rockefeller Foundation. So we saw that there was a lot of potential here. What I knew is that when I came in as a securities analyst and talked to a top executive of a company, they listened very, very carefully. And they were very eager to do whatever it was that would convince the analyst to put a buy order on their company. So I thought if questions like this became the kinds of things that analysts were asking companies about, that they thought Wall Street cared about, that would reflect on the value of their stock, there would be tremendous leverage. It would really change decisions in corporate boardrooms. So I set up the peace portfolio and ran it for a while at the investment firm. But then when I wanted to move beyond the peace portfolio to do civil rights and the environment, I couldn't get the data I wanted. I spent months down in Washington trying to find the data, going to one government agency after another. I was used to dealing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. As an analyst, you had a wealth of information on the financial performance of companies. This is what enables Wall Street to do the kind of analysis I did. I assumed that the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission had similar information on employment of minorities and women. I assumed that the environmental agencies, the predecessors of the EPA, would have lots of information, and was shocked to find that none of that was true. I figured we needed a significant research department, and I did a little budget for it. Came out to about $500,000 a year. This is in late 1960s dollars, so that's quite a few $1,000,000 today, and went around with this idea to a number of the major Wall Street firms. Not one of them was willing to make that kind of investment.